Now let's look at the bond market, which clearly has been easing its way up in here as the yields have now come down to record or near record yield, depending on where on the yield curve you're looking. We expected that we were going to see a rally up here to about 183.20. And it got very, very close to that and then begin to move down. Again, the bond market's got minor thirds also that you can see in here. And this right over here is kind of a widening pattern that we see. This is the old one right in here that we left in there to see if it was going to have an influence. It did not, so we'll be pulling it out of there. And then the market looks like to us like it probably tries to get up again a little bit more. But we think that based on where yields are and the likelihood that the yields can't go much lower, that the bond market peak is not that far off. We were looking, some of the evidence really is that we were looking for a major bottom in yields over the next few weeks into mid-September. We think that top is either forming or will begin to form soon in the treasuries or the bottom in yields as they begin to look at this inflationary scenario that the government is trying to create. They're blatantly talking about it, and longer term, the curve is going to steepen under those conditions. They're going to keep the short end low. They don't have as much control over the long end, and what you're going to get is a increase in the yield curve, and that we think is going to be happening, even though they probably don't want it to happen, beginning sometime in September. So that's the sum of the evidence. For the shorter term, we're going to look for a little bit more attempted rally up in here, and then some correction, and then a little bit more attempted rally, as you can see as we get here. So choppy market that we're looking at. You can see the momentum in here is still strong right there. I don't have the buy signals right in here, but here's a positive signal. Here's a positive signal right over here. So this is a buy pending right in there, and we're likely to get one more little trip there before it gets a correction. So the next couple of weeks we'll look for some up and then some down in what has not been the greatest tradable market.